Hey guys, on this episode of Gaming and Collecting, me and Alex are doing another edition of our The Games That Shaped Us series. This time we're talking about Pokemon Black and White, going over some of our favorite moments from the series and just kind of going over the games of the game itself. Other than that though, guys, on with the intro music.
You didn't answer my question. What is a
Uh,
pod?
so how you been?
What is a pod? You gotta answer my question.
It's a device that you sleep in. I don't know.
So you said we were about to pod, so we're about to go to bed? Is that what you're talking?
That's you most podcasts. Let's be real.
Shut up, you bitch! How dare you? Oh, sorry. That was like a cough, but then it also kind of just turned a little barfy.
Lovely. Anyways,
Can
so
you cut that out?
if I remember. It just sounded like the normal noise you make.
Oh,
So
it did? Okay.
yeah.
Well, I was
That
like,
sounded like
I
you
got
going
a cough. I was like,
it just sounded like you going
all right, then it's probably fine then. Uh, how have you been?
I almost got run off the road this morning. That was fun.
That's just a normal day.
Well, this one was particularly obnoxious because like I was there, the guy saw me, like kind of like did like one of those, like he started coming over and then like went back, and then he just said fuck it and started going anyways, and I was like, are you serious?
Oh my god, people
Yeah,
be crazy. Was that getting on the highway or is it getting off the highway?
I was just about getting off before I got into work.
Oh,
It's like right at the end. I was like, what the hell?
sounds about right.
Yeah.
Sounds
So that's how my day started.
Yeah. No. My this week of work has been shit. Last week is fine. It was getting a little better and it just has been terrible this week. Just dealing with people, um, dealing with crap, just unrealistic expectations. Like it's nuts. So
Sounds like most businesses.
that's why I popped the stress ball.
Yeah.
And I'm about to pop this one too. Um, yeah.
So
No.
so Amazon, I have an Amazon story for today.
Oh God, what did you do this time? What
So
what did you do to the Amazon that makes them hate you and not
no,
give you
this
a
isn't even
refund?
this isn't even just me. This is just this guy sucked. So I got a message from Amazon basically saying your package has been delivered. And I looked at the picture. I was like, okay, there's a package at my door. That's nice. So I was downstairs working out. I'm like, okay, I'll go grab that after I'm done.
Yeah.
As I'm working out, I get a text from my neighbor saying she accidentally got my package and said she was going to drop it off in the morning after when she leaves for work, and that she said the reason it's open is because she accidentally opened it because she thought it was hers. And I said, all right, that's fine. Other than now she knows I'm a weeb, but that's besides the point. But then it hits me. I'm like, then whose package do I have?
Oh.
So then I'm wondering, okay, maybe they just mixed up our houses again. I go up to the thing and I pull up the package. It's not even one of our houses. It's a completely different house.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this Amazon driver just sucked.
When was this? Because like I'm not kidding. The other night I got a package at my door and I eventually got my package, but I brought it in the house and then I was like, what is this? Like I don't remember ordering it. It had a fragile sticker on it. I was like, I purchased 2 t-shirts for like a gift I'm giving someone. And I looked at it, I was just like, what is like why would they put fragile on t-shirts? And I look at it, I was like, oh, it was my neighbor. So I dropped it off of my neighbor, but then as I was walking back, the Amazon man's like, what house is this? And I was like, this is 203. He's like, oh, here's your package. So then I got my package, but maybe I know someone messed up and put the wrong package at my house, so I don't know if it was the same person or something, but yeah.
They just don't even look like.
Well, I think right now it also might be it's the holiday time, so they bring on a lot of extra staff, like temp staff for the holidays. So it might just be these are some seasonal people who don't usually deliver in our area and are just delivering and they don't really like know. It's probably a little bit of that. Because
Yeah,
it can be confusing. Not all the numbers are very clear. So
yeah. These two
yeah.
houses just aren't even close though. So I'm just
Yeah.
like,
No, I've gotten
okay.
weird numbers before. So
Yeah. So I'm like, that's great. So now I've got to go find whose house this is in the morning and just drop it off before I leave for work.
yeah. Well, what street is it still your street or
It's my street. It's just someone else's house, like way down towards the
yeah.
end. And I'm like,
Well, it was the
okay.
same thing that happened to me. So
Yeah, but this is like screwing up 4 different houses. And like,
yeah.
especially like,
It's that time of the year. They got the, temporary seasonal employees and then,
I've been putting my light on so they can see my number, but like, I guess that they just don't pay attention. So,
well, it gets confusing.
yeah.
You're used to it, but imagine you come into this place as someone who doesn't live around here. It could probably be confusing.
You see, I wouldn't last as an Amazon driver because I would get fired for being too slow because I would go out of my way to make sure everything was right.
Well, yeah, it's probably a little bit of that too, but it's the time of the year. Well, any other stories?
No, that was about it. Like,
You
other
you
than,
you visited Miss Dinkle.
yeah, and she's an ungrateful cat. She's
You,
mean and ungrateful.
she's not mean. She's just bitchy.
I like went to go feed her, and then I like went to go pet her while I was like putting the food down. She runs off and then just yells at me from across the room, and I'm like, you jerk. Like, I wanted to just put the food on the sink and be like, no food for you.
No, that'd be so mean.
It's
You
not
know
like
what?
it's not like she'll die. I mean, she could survive.
She does have some blubber. Um, I'd catch her doing recently. I don't know. I might have to get her a new food bowl. But like, she takes her food. I saw her doing it earlier today. She'll take it. She puts her paw in it, and she throws it on the ground and eats it off the floor. I'm not kidding. I like looked at my floor. I was like, what the fuck is all over the floor? It's covered in food because she throws it and licks it off the floor. So I think I got to get her a lower bowl because she's a pig.
She's like, ooh, she's like caveman, like, ooh, food.
No, yeah.
Snack food.
No, yeah. I literally saw her take her fucking paw. She goes, and the best is she goes like this. She goes like, and like taps it, and then eventually just gets it, and then the floor and eats it. So I gotta get her a new food bowl this weekend.
Your cat is very special.
She's an odd cat. Like
You're like
she's
struggling to be like, you're struggling not to say she's the worst.
no, I love her. Well, the other day too, I had gone into work late because I was doing the trainings. So I slept in a little bit, and she didn't like that. So she jumped like right on my stomach, and I was like, "Oh!" Like that was how I woke up in the morning. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" Yeah, she's a joy. We'll just go with that. She's a joy to have. Would I have her any other way? Maybe, but I can't change her, so I'm
You're
stuck
like,
with her.
can I get a new one? This one's broken.
It is. It's
It
broken.
eats gym mats.
It eats everything. Everything. It eats my holiday decoration. She hasn't really gone for the tree though, so I'll take it. She'll smack the ornaments, and honestly, I'll take that over eating the tree. Eating the tree. So we'll go with it. But she's something. Anything you've been watching recently?
Well, we finished Oshinoko.
Yes. Oh, and my coworker watched it, and this is spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen season 1. This was his words. He's like, "Oh, she's making me watch an idol show." Okay. And he's like, "Oh, she's making me watch about an idol becoming a parent." "Oh, the doctor's dead." "All right, there's murder now." "Oh, it's about kids growing up." And then he goes, "Oh no, she's dead." "Oh no, and he's like, "Oh, it's a high school now." And he was like, "I had no idea where you were taking me, but I am in." So
Although that That first episode is a doozy.
Oh yeah. No, I told him. I'm like, just be prepared. I'm not gonna tell you anything about it, but it's not gonna go where you think it's gonna go.
No, and then like then once you get to where the actual show starts, you still don't really know where it's going to go.
Exactly. So I made him watch it. So and he's hooked now. I also got him watching Black Clover too, and he's also hooked on that. He just got to the part with the where they're in the tournament, like to join the Royal Knights.
Yeah.
So I told him my favorite character is coming up. Mereoleona.
It's not haha.
No, he's no one's favorite character.
Uh-huh.
Yes, Mereoleona is coming up, so hopefully he'll watch that soon. But what? So you watched Oshinoko? Anything else?
I finished Konosuba, so that's now out of the way.
Yes, you told me that. It's on my list now. I'll watch it eventually.
That's actually that's the book that my neighbor saw. So now
Oh
she
really?
knows. Yeah,
She
so now
knows you're a degenerate.
now she knows I'm a weeb. And I'm just like, okay. I'm not even gonna question it. I'm just feel like, yeah, I like Japanese stuff, you know.
Well, after Oshinoko, I watched Burn the Witch, and that was just a 3-episode show. And then I watched Science Fell in Love, so I tried to prove it. And that one was okay. It just kept giving me a headache, so I couldn't watch season 2. Then I watched Mononoke, which that one was actually pretty cool. It was like ghost story, spooky. It had a really unique art style, so I watched that. And then I watched Wonder Egg Priority, which the title alone, I had no idea what I was in for, and I was like, wow, depression.
Yeah.
That show was a lot more depressing than I thought it was going to be, and I was like, damn.
Oh, go on.
I had 2 more.
Keep going.
And then I watched Kaku Shigoto, which is the one I was telling you about before the podcast. And then I just started watching No Longer Allowed in Another World, it's an isekai show making fun of isekais. But this one's actually
That's
pretty
like
funny.
its own genre now. Just self-aware isekais.
But this one I actually thought was pretty funny because the main character, like, literally, it wasn't like he was just running, like, and like got hit by a truck and got sent to the magical world. He was committing suicide with his partner, and they're by a river and they're gonna drown themselves, and suddenly a truck just appears out of nowhere, kills him, and then he gets isekai to the world, and this little elf girl is like, "You've been sent to another world to be an adventurer," and he's just like, he pulls out a bottle of pills and just tries to kill himself in the first like 5 minutes. And the lady's like, "What?"
That's not as extreme as Konosuba's, but that is pretty up there for like what the fuck. Well, actually, no, the vending machine was pretty bizarre too.
Well, and like, so this one, it seems like the premise is going of like, it's the like, I don't want to be an adventurer, I just want to die guy who's just constantly like, because he wins a fight because basically he's been eating all these pills, like he's been taking all the pills constantly, even though he didn't overdose this time, but he's still just taking them occasionally. So he's just constantly poisoning himself. So one of the monsters was like an energy absorbing monster, and he lets it get him, and he's like, "Ah, yes, the sweet embrace of death. I'm here for it." And then the monster just dies because it just sucked up all the poison he was eating. So I only watched the first episode, but I'm already pretty hooked on it. It was pretty funny.
Nice. So I saw a thing that was really funny to me. You know how like AI is kind of just getting ridiculous now?
Yes.
Well, I'm pretty against it for the most part. Like I'm okay with it if it's used like in a technical sense, like to improve something or to like fix something like that can't be fixed normally. I'm not so much into AI when it's used creatively because I don't think AI is particularly creative.
Well, I think it's how you use it creatively, because I use it actually at work sometimes.
Well, no, I don't mean. I mean when it's legit just doing everything.
Well, it doesn't do everything. I have to prompt it.
Because I mean, like sometimes, like when you get like people that are just making art.
Oh AI, yeah. Like, well, because I use it for I use Excel a lot, And I use a lot of VBA, which is the coding behind Excel, and you can make a
See,
lot of
that's more the
macros.
that's more the technical aspect of AI.
Yeah, but I use it to like help me. I'll like search into like ChatGPT and I'll be like, "Hey, can you write me a macro to be able to do this in Excel and like calculate it automatically?" And then
Yeah.
it does. I do that.
See
That's my
that
shit.
Yeah, that's like the technical aspect. That's fine. Like I don't have any problem with that. It's more like when it's like drawing pictures and like making
Oh
videos
yeah.
and stuff.
I
Like
like when it's like, well, those cursed cat videos I send you.
well,
Remember I sent you those for a good I was getting a lot of those, which the ones of like the cats shitting their pants.
I mean, as long as it's not used for monetary gain, I can ignore it. But yeah. But anyways, where I'm getting with this is I saw a thing that really made me laugh. Like so, I've seen a lot of the new Linkin Park album came out.
Yes.
Um,
I
I I
haven't
s-
listened to it and
I
I
know.
never will.
Well, you might want to listen to this new version I found.
Oh
You,
boy.
you probably won't, but I
Oh,
just
did
thought it
someone
was.
AI gesture
Oh
into
yeah, yeah.
it?
People are AI
Oh,
chestering like
and
the
see,
songs.
don't like that either because
No, I
that's
don't either. I just
not
think it's I just think it's kind of funny. I'm like, wow,
people
like
are
people.
so against the new.
Well, that's where it gets funny because of the fact that they've been doing this. She got really offended and was bitching about it online, and I'm just like,
Oh
all
God,
you're gonna
girl, no!
all that's gonna happen is now there's gonna be twice as many. Um, she w- she was like, I
Don't
didn't look.
poke the bear, and the
e-
bear being your fan base that's already on edge. Don't poke
See,
them.
she could have had the argument if she had just gone into it saying this is disrespectful to Chester, which she partially did, but then she also was said it was disrespectful towards me and kind of like made it a me situation,
Yeah. If
which
she had just left it at this is disrespectful to Chester, it probably would have been fine. Regardless of if she felt, it was disrespectful to her too. If she had just said the Chester part, she probably would have been fine.
yeah.
But
Also, if she just ignored it, it would eventually die off because people are
no,
gonna get
yeah.
bored of that
No.
once the album cycle's over.
Also, yeah, that's the truth too. And like also, I mean, I won't lie. Like you listen, maybe they've gotten better, but whenever I listen to the AI covers, they usually don't sound great. So
I
I
don't know.
wouldn't.
The Squidward ones are great.
Well, yeah, those are great. Those are great. Or the Gary the snail ones. Those are my shit. So
Any
I
that are
like
just
the
stupid like that, I'm fine with.
oh Cartman. Cartman has some good ones.
Those ones aren't really good. I'm not gonna lie. They don't sound
I
like them.
I love when they're garbage. But anyway, they're all garbage. But the Squidward
Yeah.
ones are
I
fire.
just got I just got a chuckle out of that. I'm like, this is something the internet would do, and I'm like, oh no, don't complain. You're just gonna
Well,
make them make
yeah,
more.
exactly. Like, don't complain on the like. That's the worst thing you can do. If you respond to them in a like way that makes you sound kind of bitchy, you're just fueling
Well,
the fire.
especially when you're already not particularly popular.
Exactly. Like at that
Like,
point, just like shut up and accept it. Like they don't like you already. You're digging the hole.
well, especially because now they're gonna go out of their way to improve them so they sound better.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, this will be entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
It was literally one of those things where I saw it, I listened to it, I'm like, this is dumb, kind of shitty, but I got a chuckle out of it because I'm like, wow, people are this desperate.
They miss Chester.
They actually don't sound particularly great just because of the fact that the songs clearly weren't written with Chester's voice in mind.
Exactly. Yeah. That's
But
that's the thing. And it's also like it's not Chester's words, and I just don't feel like that's like helping either.
yeah, it's just the whole thing is it's just something I got a chuckle out of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, you know what song's been stuck in my head all day and I can't get it out no matter what?
What?
It's My Life by Bon Jovi.
What was it on the radio at some point?
It came on my Spotify at work and it's been stuck in my head all day. Like I'll be just walking around, all of a sudden I'll be like, this is a song from the broken hearted. And then I'll just be like in my head, like when I'm like just like it'll be dead silent. I'll just hear it's my life. It's now or never.
Can
I
someone
just want to
auto-tune
live
this?
forever. Yeah, you know.
Can someone auto-tune this and we can put it on the internet and then
Yeah,
AI him to
make
finish
AI
the song?
an AI cover of me singing "It's
An
My Life."
AI cover. Yes. That's what we need. Someone out there, do it. If
It's
you
just
have the power.
it's just such a random song to be stuck. It's like the fact that I'm not even a massive Bon Jovi fan. I just like that song is annoyingly catchy. Like,
Yeah. You know what's been in my I'm still on my Jersey Shore rewatch.
lovely.
And I made it through. Well, so I watched the original series, and then also, have you watched Paramount recently?
Not
I feel
really.
like I watch more ads than the actual show on
Yeah,
Paramount.
it's
The
getting
ads
pretty
are
bad.
fucking terrible on there. At one point, I think my app kind of glitched, and I was getting no ads, and I was like, I'm not going to complain. I'm just going to ride this out, and then it came back, and I was like, damn it. But I made it to the family vacation part, and I just keep getting the same ad. It's like for some sort of like vacation company or something, but it has a song, and it's like it's the Steamboat Way. So like I'll just be in my head, and I'll be like, it's the Steamboat Way, and I'm just like, ugh. I hate this stupid little song jingle, and it's in my head constantly because they play the same. It's always the same like 5 ads too.
I hate the fact that I paid for like the premium version and they decided now we're gonna make an even more premium version and just
Yeah,
fuck over everyone that already bought the ad-free version.
like it's so shitty. Like there's so many, and
I
the
love
amount
how
are ridiculous.
I love how streaming like did all this to get away from cable and we've just become cable again.
Yeah, like this is ridiculous though, because you literally watch like 5 minutes of the show and then it gives you an ad. Like
Yeah,
I'm almost gonna stop. Like it's almost unwatchable at this point.
that's why I haven't honestly, if it doesn't get any better, I might drop the Paramount
I don't blame
subscription.
you. Yeah, I don't blame you. I
Even
will
Mac,
watch.
even like Max is starting to get kind of Max doesn't have bad ads. Max just like dropping shit left and right.
Like content.
Yeah, like most of the DC stuff is just gone now. Like they just got rid of it.
Oh really?
Like, the stuff I bought the damn service for, like
Oh
I mean if they drop Friends and they drop like all like the Discovery stuff, then I'll probably be like, yeah, fuck this.
yeah. I don't blame you. I mean, I've honestly been watching Crunchyroll, High Dive, and Netflix.
Yeah,
Those
even
have been my.
Netflix has been surprisingly decent lately.
They're picking up a
Like
lot of shows.
they have. They're just I still think they're too expensive for what they are, but because they
Yeah.
keep jacking the damn price. Oh, Disney Plus jacked the price up again too.
Ugh.
But Disney Plus does have a lot of good content, so it's like one of those things where you're just like, yeah.
Yeah. Crunchyroll.
Yep. I'll give High Dive a lot of credit. They're very affordable and there's some decent stuff on there, even if their UI is fucking atrocious.
Oh, it's awful. But no, there is really good stuff on there. You just gotta dig for it.
That's where you find all the hidden gems is on a High Dive.
Well, that's where Nana is. I still think you should watch Nana.
That's probably gonna be a next year thing.
Well, especially I would say if you really love that outro of Oshinoko, I feel like you'll like a lot of the music of Nana. Because it's centered around music, a lot of it. So
Yeah.
and 2 girls named Nana.
Yeah. I'll have to it's gonna be on my list. I have a lot of stuff on my list for next year. I'm hopefully gonna be more preemptive next year with anime and not like try and binge most of it towards the end of the year.
See, I just kept watching shit as it came out. I feel like next year I'm gonna end up watching more shows as they come out. Because now that I started it with Dawn to Dawn, I like can't stop. Like I was just like I started watching, I was like, I can't I need to watch this. It looks so good. And it was. So
Yeah.
I'll start being one of those weekly watcher peoples.
See, I made the horrible decision to start the year off watching Rurouni Kenshin 96 and like that just like took forever.
How many
to get
episodes is that?
94.
94? Ooh. Yeah,
And
that is a
the
lot.
last season is atrocious.
Oh no, bad.
Well, they ran out of manga, so they just kind of went off the script.
That always goes well.
Yeah, well, especially around like the 90s because they're which is tragic because the third arc of Rurouni Kenshin is actually really good and it's never been animated fully.
But they're
Well,
reanimating it, right?
Yeah, the new series is coming out. I'm actually interested in watching that. I'm waiting probably a bit before I do it because I just
You
watched
watched all of the old one?
the
No,
old
that
show.
makes sense. It's funny how they used to always like just jump to the ending on these old shows. Like they would just like keep going without the manga before,
Well,
and now
they
they like
tried to
very
stretch
much
it.
stop.
They tried to stretch it until they got more manga, and then like the third season was so horrendous they canceled the show because it was that bad.
Ugh. See, it's crazy. Like,
There's a
well,
whole arc centered around religion. It's like this is so dated and weird.
well, it's funny because then you look at some shows that managed to push through. I mean, like Bleach. I still remember that arc of like the bounce that was all filler. Like none of it was in the manga, and it was terrible. And they still made more after it. So it's funny, like which shows, even though they make garbage, like a whole section of garbage, it can still push through. While some of them just can't. It's interesting.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, we've waffled on for a good 20 minutes.
No, I hate that term.
I know,
At least
and I love it.
pancake done. We
French toast.
pancake done. We
French toast done.
we omeleted on.
See, it
What's
doesn't
our-
work the same.
We English muffin done.
Waffling just sounds good.
No, we need to find something else. We eggs Benedict on.
It doesn't work if you have to like struggle to add the ending part.
Let me what are other foods for breakfast? What are other we oatmeal Dawn. Oatmeal. That's your new one. We serial killer Dawn. Oh, speaking of murder. Speaking of murder, did you see the guy that they found?
Oh, did they they found the guy who killed him?
Yeah. Oh, you haven't seen that?
No, I don't. I don't watch the news, so
He's pretty well. It's all over Twitter. Not
I don't
X.
use Twitter. I don't
I
use
know.
Twitter anymore.
Oh,
I abandoned that.
yeah. Well, it's yeah, he's like not that old. And they found him in a McDonald's, and the person who called it in, like called and gave like a tip, they might not give him the money because he didn't call the tip line, he called the police. I'm just like, isn't that so? If they don't give him the money, that's ridiculous. Because one,
Is this how
that's
serial
gonna-
killers are created? I'm just saying.
exactly. That's like how people. Well, they caught the guy. Yeah, some of his background was like kind of crazy reading into it. Like he was the valedictorian of his class, and he had like back surgery, and it read something of like they messed it up or they messed up his back to the point like he was living with constant pain, and that's what pushed him over the edge.
That'll do it.
And well, in the insurance, I think it had to do with the insurance not covering and helping him, so that's why he did it. So it was crazy reading into
That's
that.
how the world. That's how it is. That's how this stuff happens now, and it's kind of scary.
Yeah. It's interesting. But so what is our topic today? And we're not waffling on. We are oatmealing on.
It doesn't work. Anyways,
We
so
cerealed on.
we're doing another the games that shaped us. Probably the final one of
I
this
don't
season.
want to. I don't want to.
Yeah, you do because we're talking about one of your favorite games.
Oh, all right. As long as you take back the waffle, we're good. Take it back.
Okay, fine. We strudelled on.
I will take that. I haven't had
Strudel.
toaster strudel in so long.
I bought it once out of curiosity recently, and it's fucking gross. It's like
Oh, no. Wait, which
I
one
would-
did you buy? Did you buy like the one where you put the sugar goo on the
no,
top?
I hate that so much.
Or
It's
did you
so-
buy like the one with the cheese and bacon?
Ew.
Which
I
one
don't
did
know
you
what-
get?
I think I bought the cinnamon one. And I just didn't put on the goo because I hate it.
You don't like the goo.
Not
What's
really.
wrong? It's not goo, it's icing.
I also
That
don't
was
have
the best
time.
part. I used to just eat the icing.
I'm
That was
aware.
it.
Because children
I
are
fucking
gross.
I honestly, there's sometimes where in college, sometimes I would just get a can of frosting and I would just snack on it when I was depressed.
This is how the freshman 15 happens.
No, honestly, it was. It was. How could you not? The icing is what makes a toaster
Well,
strudel
A,
better.
because I have barely enough time to eat in the morning as is. And second off, I was like, I don't have time for that.
You should get a hot pocket instead. You should get the breakfast hot pockets.
Yeah, those are gross. I just eat cereal because it's the only thing
You
I can.
did you just say hot pockets are gross?
They kind of are. I mean,
Get out! I'm leaving! How dare you? I'm leaving. Where's this button? I am leaving. You take that back. Hot pockets are a wonderful creation. They're a hot pocket of
and
mush.
whatever, and you eat them and your mouth burns
Well,
because
you
there's
don't.
no.
You have to let them cool.
They don't even come with the sleeves anymore. They got rid of.
You?
No, the sleeves are gone.
No, that's essential to the crisp of it.
Nope, they got rid of the
I'm
sleeves.
googling it. I'm googling it right now.
They got rid of.
You.
They
I
got
don't
rid of-
believe you. I don't
They-
believe you.
I bought a 4 cheese set recently, and the sleeves are gone. They got rid of the sleeves.
You got a defective one. I
No.
don't believe you. Oh.
Uh-huh. Uh huh.
How did they? The sleeve is part of the crisping. That makes the hot pockets good.
No more. No more sleeves.
It's the crisper sleeves.
Nope.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Well, to save money, that's why. But like, frequently asked questions. Why the fuck did you get rid of the sleeves? Is that on here? Why are you putting on the music?
Because you're going off on a tangent.
I'm
This is-
mad. Hot pockets are great, and half of it is the crispy sleeve technology. And how did you diss toaster strudels? That shit was good too. You just didn't eat them right.
See, they used to have those toaster strudel commercials where they're like, "Move over, Pop Tarts," and I'm always sitting there going, like, "I'd rather have the
Well-
Pop Tart."
Well, no, a Pop Tart is oh, now I want a fucking Pop Tart. Can you get me a Pop Tart? Do you have Pop Tarts?
Not currently.
Damn it. You know which ones are the best though? The cinnamon brown sugar? Those ones are OP. Like if you're gonna get a Pop Tart, that's the classic. That's the one to go with. I don't want that
Cinnamon's
fruit
good.
shit. I don't want that fruit shit. I want that brown
You don't
sugar.
want the dessert ones. They're all like dessert now.
Well, I like the desserty ones too. The brown sugar one though is just like perfect.
The classic. cinnamon.
Wonderful. But toaster strudel are also great. Well,
Do you remember
fruit
the old-
works
the
with toaster strudel?
Do you remember the Pop Tart that was like the purple like frosting with like the blue swirl on it, and it was like fruit on the inside?
Yeah.
The classic. I don't see that ever
I
anymore.
don't think they make. I gotta look this up now. Pop Tart with purple and blue. It was like a theme of something too. Oh, it's Wildberry. I think they still have it.
I just never see it. I have to buy that now when I go
It's
to the store.
frosted Wildberry. Oh, now I want just Pop Tarts. Pop Tarts flavors.
But-
Let me see.
Anyways,
No. I gotta find my favorite one first. Well, the brown sugar is definitely up there. Ew, banana bread? That sounds gross.
carrot cake.
Oh, chocolate fudge is also pretty good. It's just double
I'm so-
chocolate.
I'm so like tired of chocolate right now, though, that I probably couldn't do it.
I mean, I would for a Pop Tart. I love a good Pop Tart. What else? What else do we got? What are some? Oh, cookies and cream. Cookies and cream was always a good one too. Brown sugar is top tier. Then I'd say like cookies and cream.
Boston cream pie was pretty good too, just because we're New Englanders and that's just a thing.
Do they make that
I think it's a seasonal thing because I only see it
Red-
sometimes.
Red velvet?
Those ones were good.
Oh, I want
All
Pop.
right.
Can you get me a Pop Tart?
We need to do a
We
Pop
should-
Tart. We need to do a Pop Tart tier list at some point.
We should really go into tier lists next year. We should
Do
do
it.
like random tier list. It can just be chaos tier list.
Bring on friends and have
Can I host it?
sure.
Yes. I'll bring the chaos. Get ready for next year. Chaos tier list. We're gonna do Pop Tarts. We're gonna do Hot Pockets. We're gonna do water
Water.
bottles.
You remember
We're
Lean
gonna-
Pockets? They gave up on
That-
that real fast.
Well, yeah, because it was just a Hot Pocket that they tried to say was healthier.
And it
Which
wasn't.
it wasn't. What else could we do a tier list for? Ben and Jerry's?
We'll save this for next year. Let's move on to our topic.
I don't want
Yes, you do.
to. No.
So we, as we said earlier, we're doing another games that shaped us for this episode.
Into squares.
Anyways, for this episode, we're going to be talking about Pokemon Black and White. This is such a weird entry in the Pokemon series because I do believe it is arguably the best entry in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But they're also the ones that just seem to be like overlooked these days.
I also feel like they are not touching them purposely because they know they're so great and they don't want to ruin them.
Either that or they're just like they just don't know how to approach it because
Yeah.
we'll get into it with Black and White, but Black and White did a lot of stuff differently than
Well,
most games.
I think the biggest thing about this one is it actually had kind of like a storyline that was interesting.
It had a storyline that was very much connected to the game, like because I mean you can argue all the previous gens had stories. Like Gen 3 definitely has a story, but you have to really pay attention to it to really grasp it.
I agree that this one was very much like you were in the story as you were playing it.
The
like,
story was very front and center.
I feel like they took in a lot of RPG storytelling aspects for this game, which they haven't really relied on prior to this one. And I don't think they ever really have since this one either.
This game was also notably very linear, like the Unova region where this game takes place, which is based on America, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
The map.
That's why the names of the main characters are Hilda and Hilbert.
That they are. I will say
very American names.
Hell yeah.
My neighbor Hilda is great. Her husband Hilbert.
That being said, the map for the region is literally a circle. Like it is the most linear, probably Pokemon region there's ever been. But that's totally fine because honestly, like it makes the game's story easier to follow, and the progression is so easy. Not that the game itself is easy.
No, it's actually I definitely think one of the more difficult.
It can be difficult.
Yeah. I mean that final boss fight.
Yep, Alex still has nightmares. So the Unova region did notably a lot of different things. Like obviously we had mentioned the two player characters, Hilda and Hilbert. We talked about them in the previous player character discussion episode we did a while ago, but they're notably two of I think my favorite designs in the series. Notably Hilda's probably like my favorite female protagonist design.
Yeah, well also I think this a good thing to bring up too is like this was one of the few games where the characters were not 12.
Yeah, they were like
not
15,
kids.
I believe.
They were definitely teenagers and a lot more mature characters, which for us, it actually worked out really well because as we were playing these games, we were also kind of growing up. So the age we were when we played these was probably around the age of the characters were.
Yeah, and also another interesting thing too that they did was this was the first time we had a female professor, which was new.
Yes,
Professor Juniper.
And Juniper was badass.
She was one of the more interesting professors because she actually seemed to do stuff.
Yeah, like she actually like helped you and was actually a pretty important plot device as well in some points.
That and another interesting thing they did was they gave rather than having just one rival, you got 3 arguably.
Yeah, well, because you had your counterpart, whichever you didn't choose to be the character. Well, oh wait, no. He wasn't one. Never mind. I'm sorry, I forgot. And I didn't think of him as a rival. I thought of him as like the villain. Well, but he is the rival.
He's a lot of things in this game.
He's very complicated. Yeah, you have your 2 main rivals who kind of travel with you, Bianca and Sharon. Where Sharon is the one who's more of like the challenge, and Bianca is usually the one that's pretty easy to beat.
Yeah, like you'll notice very quickly in every town you visit, you'll run into Bianca early on, and then you'll run into Sharon before you leave.
Yeah.
Sometimes right after a gym. Fuck you, Sharon.
Yeah.
Like,
No, sometimes he would be like waiting there. He'd be like, "You wanna duel?" And you're like,
yeah,
"Can I
after
like
you
go
just got your
duel?"
ass fucking kicked by the gym and you're
Yep.
like barely alive, and he's like, "Want to fight?" And it's like, no.
No, I don't.
That's why you
Stop.
always. That's why you always save before exiting the gym.
And have extra healing items on you.
Yeah, or at least one Pokemon that you save just to fight him. But I was always so many times I'd be like Sharon would show up. I'd be like, "Not now." Like, go away.
Yeah. And like it was actually cool too because they actually gave these characters some character. They weren't just like mindless drone that you kept fighting. Like part of Bianca's storyline was that her parents were pretty like her father was pretty against the fact of her going and being a Pokemon trainer.
Hmm.
And she just wanted to do it. And at one point, like he actually comes to like bring her back. And your character kind of helps and goes, no, like she needs to do this. Like this is what she wants to do. So it definitely like one made the characters a lot more memorable because I could not tell you most of the rivals' names in the other ones, but these ones I always remember: Bianca, Sharon, and Professor Juniper. Like I remember all the characters' names. Yes, I might have played this game like 20 times,
Yeah.
but
The only rival that, well, I mean, besides like Blue, who's like the original rival, the only other rival that really made an impact was probably Silver back in Gold and Silver because he was just such a dick.
yeah.
Um, but that's besides the point. And I guess Barry because he was on speed like 24/7.
Yeah.
But yeah, another thing that Black and White also did, which it really played with the idea of different battle scenarios.
Yeah. Like this was I think the game that introduced like the triple battles or like double battles as well.
So there was double battles. There was like the triple rotation battles where there'd be three Pokemon
Yeah.
on screen, and they would like rotate between which one was the one you were going to fight at different times, kind of for more of a challenge.
Yep.
There was the battle hordes.
Yep.
I remember those. Also, this one was like the first one where your Pokemon moved, like they animated like constantly, which was different.
Yeah. And this was the last one before they moved on to 3D. And they kind
Well,
of stepped with the 3D.
not counting Black and White 2.
Well, yeah. I kind of wrote those in. But yeah, like the Black and White series was the
The final
last.
two, well, mostly 2D because that's another innovation that this game had. More 3D experimentation. Like there's that one main city that is full 3D and it's really weird.
Yeah. No, they
Um,
definitely tried a lot of new things that I think they took some things that were good and then they didn't take a lot of things that were great with the new games. Um, but they did take some. I mean, I
also,
think the most interesting thing about this game is the storyline of like Team Galact. No, not
Plasma.
Galactic. Team Plasma. I don't know why Galactic was in my head. Like Team Plasma, like actually had like an inch. Like you almost agreed with them until you found out what they really were about. But like at first, like the whole your first introduction to Team Plasma is that they are, separating human from
They're like
Pokemon.
Pokemon liberation people. Like,
Yeah, like they want to make sure that people aren't abusing their Pokemon, and like that's the first thing you get, and you're like, oh, that's these people aren't that bad. And then you
well,
actually start fighting some of them, and you're like, okay, maybe they're not that great.
until you realize their logic is extremely flawed because they're like, they
Yeah.
just want all Pokemon liberated, not the fact that the majority of Pokemon are perfectly happy being.
No, yeah. And that's where you kind of see that they have their flaws or there's a deeper
Well,
negative
there's also
aspect.
that there's also that cutscene super early where the one plasma grunt is literally beating up a Pokemon. And you're like,
Sir?
it's like,
Sir.
excuse me.
Yeah. And you're introduced to N like very early on. Like in your first town that you go to, you see them on the side, like doing a little protest presentation, and then N's in the crowd and he asks you a question. And it's pretty reoccurring that he comes and talks to you. And like it's also one of the games too where you definitely feel like you have to play as a specific character. Like you
Yeah,
have to.
the game was clearly designed with Hilda in mind.
Yes. And I feel like
Um,
that's one of the this is one of the only ones where it's kind of weird if you choose the boy character.
yeah, my current playthrough I'm doing of Black and White, I actually chose I chose Hilda just because it makes more sense.
Ferris wheel.
People
I
ship
literally
them for
think
that scene, and it's so weird.
isn't that the ship name? I believe
Yeah,
that's
well,
the
yeah,
ship
because
name.
Pokemon shipping is so fucking weird. Like they name the ships after the dumbest fucking stuff.
Don't
But yeah,
people
that
like ship the Pokemon?
they ship Pokemon is the number one category on fanfiction.net. Oh my god.
Ew, that is
Um,
weird.
the number one video game category that is. But yeah, it's wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah, the ship between N and Hilda though is called Ferris wheel shipping, and it's fucking weird.
because of the Ferris wheel scene.
That's like their
Um,
only prominent like scene together, and it's not a fucking shipping scene. I don't get why people think that's a shipping scene.
oh, I think it's more of just the constant interactions and
In
stuff.
the manga, he pushes her out of the Ferris wheel.
Oh Jesus,
Yeah, after fucking traumatizing her and stealing her Pokemon.
Jesus,
The manga
poor
is fucking.
Hilda.
The manga goes fucking deep.
Damn.
Also, in the manga, her name is White.
Great. She has like 10 names because doesn't she have probably a Japanese name too?
Yes, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, her name. She's white, and Hilda and Hilbert is black. I'm like, this. They didn't think this through.
Mm.
Although Black and White 2 was funny because it was Nate. They named him Blake, which that's that one. That's clever. But then Rosa was Whiteley, and I was like, okay, I'm like, that's bad.
Whiteley.
Whiteley.
Oh boy.
But what else?
Oh, I didn't realize it was one of the best-selling games for the Nintendo. I mean, it makes sense, but
Well, it was also a very late Nintendo DS game
it
too.
sold 5 million copies. Wow.
Well, it was a very compelling Pokemon game because it did so much new at the time. It was, to me, it was the
Oh,
last
just
time.
kidding. With the combined sales, it sold 15.6 million. Oh wait. Oh, that must be money. That's money. It's $15.6 million.
Okay.
5 million copies.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, these were compelling games. Honestly, they were these honestly feel like the last time Game Freak tried.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Really,
Besides Arceus is probably the only other time they've tried recently.
yeah. No, I agree with that too. Like this one, like I don't know if like there was different leader, but like it just felt like so much effort was put into this game with the story, the gym, the character designs, because like the game is long too. Like it takes
Is.
you a bit to beat because you go through the full story of going through. I actually don't know if you do defeat all the gyms before you do. Yeah, you defeat all the gyms before you do the final battle, but then you don't actually. Do you fight the? I can't remember if you fought the Elite Four.
It's
You
it's a
do,
huge
yes.
it's a huge hijacked by Ganon moment where literally you go through the entire Elite Four, and this whole time you know about the champion of Unova is Alder, and
Yeah.
you run into him very early in the game, and you're like, oh, here's the champion. He looks tough. I can't wait to fight him. You
Yeah.
get to the end of the Elite Four, and then literally a giant fucking castle appears out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, surprise, no champion fight. You got an entire dungeon to go through now, and it's like, okay.
Yeah. Well, because it basically
Oh, by the way,
with like
that's not the first, and that's not the first time you get hijacked by Ganon. We'll get to that later.
No, yeah, well, because it's like N defeated what's his name? Alder, and then he's like, I'm in another castle, and then you have to go fight him again, and then you fight his dad, who fuck you, I hate him.
We'll get to that because you go through this whole castle, which is where like a lot of the plot stuff happens, and this is also a very interesting game to me because
the rum.
What?
The
that rum's weird. I hate that rum. I usually skip it if I can.
Well, it shows you like so part of like what's interesting too is like N is a very odd character. Like he's very like he does truly care for the Pokemon. Also, he's the only character in canon who could talk to Pokemon, right? Like he's the only character that just for some reason has.
I don't know anything about the newer games, so as
Well,
far as I
yeah.
know,
I don't remember any of the newer games having it, so I believe he's only. That is one thing that's interesting too. Is you have a character that can actually communicate with the Pokemon. So like, it's you can actually understand it being more justified of like understanding how some of the Pokemon feel. You know, because you can talk to them. But like, there's this one scene, like this one part where I think he has like two maids or something, and they're like,
those
you
maids are
go
so creepy.
should go to his room and you'll understand him more. And you go in his room and it's like a child's room that
Well,
he's
because
been living.
he's got some mentality stuff. I also like the fact that going back a bit, the game kind of tries to pretend like he's not a significant character at first, like he has nothing to do with
Yeah.
Team Plasma, despite the fucking intro basically spelling it out for you.
Yeah. Hey, but a lot of people skip that. So
True. I mean, that intro is really good though, so it's
no,
kind
yeah.
of another thing too with that. So the one interesting thing Black and White does as well is the cover legendary is very integral to the game's plot. Like,
Yes.
fun fact, you're required to catch the legendary in this game. Like, you can't just like kill it and like basically be like, no, I don't want the legendary.
No, you gotta
Um,
catch it to move the plot going forward.
Fun fact, you get a master ball right before this with the whole intention, like, oh, use the master ball to catch the legendary. Because it's a required catch, the catch rate is super low. So if you're like, if you actually just, this happened to me, you can throw a quick ball and sometimes you'll just catch it. You'll be like, oh, cool.
Yeah, is there another legendary?
There's more, there's a bunch of legendaries in this game.
Yeah, this one definitely had. Yeah, because I think part of it too is like, well, that's like where a lot of the characters you meet along the way to come back. Because one of the gym leaders is actually like a historian. So you actually have to use her help to summon the legendary and catch the legendary, and that's also where Professor Juniper comes in. They kind of work together to help you. And it's really cool. Like, it's almost like you're backtracking, but you're like banding with like all these characters. So like, it's really a save the world plot as well,
Mm.
is what it turns into.
But it's crazy because eventually you do get to N, and like, it's kind of cool because it's like a parallel thing because N has the other legendary from the opposite
Yes.
game as you. And it's kind of like a battle of the legendaries kind of thing. Although when I play the game, my team is always built like a special way, and I'm always like, I don't want this fucking legendary, so I just send it to the fucking PC. I'm like, go away.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
like,
need
I
you.
don't need this.
Well, because it just disrupts my team that I already had built, and I'm like, I don't need this. I'm good.
Yeah.
Even though the game's very much like, are you sure? And it's like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want it.
The game's like, please keep him. He's cool.
It's like you're gonna ruin the story, and it's like I don't care.
Which
My
one
team is
you had Reshiram?
the so it's kind of funny. The black and white version, the legendary and black version is like this like white colored Pokemon, and then the one in white version is like a darker colored one. I'm always like, this is such a weird switch, especially because in Black and White 2 they like fucking reversed it, so it was like, god damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing that we didn't bring up is this was the first game in the series to really downplay HMs.
Oh yeah, it was.
There's like one tree you have to cut early on in the game, and then after that, like HMs are basically non-existent throughout this game. They're like optional.
Yeah, yeah, because it even says the fog, whirlpool, and rock climb were no longer HMs. Rock smash was actually changed from an HM to a TM. Dive returned. And HMs were no longer required. No longer require certain gym badges to use.
Yeah, they realized real fast that HMs were just pointless. Like the only ones anyone ever used were fly, surf, and sometimes strength.
Yeah. Well, and it's also the TMs also had infinite use like the HMs.
Yeah, they got
That
rid of
was
the
a big
break.
change too.
Oh, another huge thing too that we probably should bring up is Black and White was very notable for they made a big deal about all the Pokemon in Black and White were completely original.
Yes.
which is true, except for one area in post game, but that's post game.
Yeah.
The Pokemon throughout the Unova region are all original, and it is. I remember at the time I was annoyed because like I really liked the older Pokemon, but like playing it again now, it's like it's really refreshing because you actually have to use different Pokemon and to actually do
Well,
different things.
and it was really nice too. Like a lot of the designs were very refreshing. And
Hmm.
honestly, some of my favorite Pokemon came out of that plane. I mean, Superior came out of there. Um, Crocodile. Crocodile
Fucking,
is
I
one of my
love
favorite.
Crocodile probably the best Pokemon from this game. Just
That
the
honest,
shades, the
yeah.
shades.
Except in his shiny, his shiny. Have you seen his shiny form?
Yeah.
He looks like Derpy. Um, and then but I also really like Daruma, the little
Hmm.
like red guy. Like he was always my fire guy on my team. Um, no, it definitely gave us a lot of really unique designs, and I also feel like too, a lot of the Pokemon you could definitely tell. I don't know, like they were very stylized, like they were very like all kind of cohesive to like the current generation style, which I liked.
Hmm. No, 100%. Like the Unova region itself just has a really good like look to it too, which like I think
Hmm.
has like aged incredibly well. And it's something that a lot of the later regions I feel like kind of lost.
Hmm.
Like
No,
Innova just feels dark. Like it feels like a darker region, in which I kind of really dug.
well, it definitely was a more mature game and a more mature story, which I
Hmm.
think was very refreshing and it was one of the reasons I also feel like it's one of the reasons why you struggled to get back into Pokemon after this game. Because I feel like they really
Well, no, no,
aged up the
you got to remember,
series.
I played X and Y to like death. Like I
Yeah,
think that's more of the reason why I struggled after because I just think
okay,
I burned myself out with X and Y.
true. But this might have a little bit to do with that as well.
Well, also the fact that X and Y was kind of disappointing compared to these.
Mm.
Um, do you remember the scene where you're walking on the bridge and then the fucking like shadow people just show up around you and it actually jump scares you?
Oh yeah, like the what did they call them? Like they were like part of Team Plasma, like the not the sages.
I think they were
They
literally
were
called like the shadow people or whatever. I don't know.
yeah, some sort of it was some sort of like not super clever. But I
There's
remember that.
literally like a point though where like you're walking down that bridge and they just like completely corner you and just like stop you in your tracks. I'm like, what the fuck?
I
This
remember
game
that.
also famously gave us a follow up on everyone's favorite character from Gen One, English Grunt. So in Gen One, there is a Team Rocket member who speaks in really broken English.
Uh-huh.
Um, which the implication is because Gen 1 takes place in Japan, it means the implication is he's a foreigner, so he doesn't
Yep.
speak very good Japanese. You actually find him here, and he's actually an American, and that's why. And you can actually talk to him, and he references like the fact that he used to work for Team Rocket, and
Oh,
he couldn't
that's
speak.
funny.
It's a cute little mythology gag that I thought was really charming.
I also we forgot to mention this. Do you remember the detective guy who like also was part of the story? It was like Looker.
Mm.
That was his name or something. Do you remember him? Like there was a detective who was also kind of helping you and following you as you played the game because he was investigating Team Plasma and as it being an evil organization.
Mm. Yeah,
Like
there
this
was a
was
lot
a
of
lot. There was a lot to this
also
game.
this game, what were the Pokemon that like you would grind for like XP because this game was pre XP share for everyone?
I believe it was the Pokemon that you're no, it was what was the name of it?
They were pink. I can't
They
remember what they were.
hmm uh pink. I
I
that
just remember because
they
you would murder millions of these because they gave extra fucking
I
XP.
think it wasn't Moon.
No, no, it wasn't. It wasn't that one. It was a different one.
Huh. I can't remember.
It's gonna bug me now.
It was like Audino.
Audino, yeah,
I
Audino
think it was
grinding.
Audino.
You would kill hundreds of them because you got extra XP for defeating them.
Well, so what you would do is you would grind and kill the Audinos, but then you would also have your XP boost. I think there was an item that also boosted XP, so I would do that, and then that's what I would do to grind. And I just keep switching the items over. Yeah, because this one was a pre XP share.
This
one
was the
you truly
last
had to
game that actually
grind.
had. Yeah, this was the last like game of the challenge era before everything got super
Yeah,
easy.
I mean, you definitely had to actually try. Did this game have Mega Evolutions? Or was
No,
that okay?
this was
Because
the
I saw Audino has a Mega Evolution, but I
that was
was
in
like, I didn't think that was this game.
that
X and
was in
Y.
X and Y. Yeah, Black and White's big innovation was mostly smaller things. Like there wasn't there wasn't a major gimmick in Black and White. Like
No.
because we also had horde battles. Do you ever horde battles?
Yes.
Where a shitload of Pokemon would show. Actually, was that Black and White, or that might have been an X and Y thing? I honestly
Actually,
don't
that might
remember.
have been X. I know this one had the rotating battles a lot, and the just the a lot of 3-on-1s as well, or 2-on-1s. A lot of group battles too. Well, there would be a lot of areas too where you'd team up with Sharon or Bianca, and you'd do team battles as well against like the grunts. That happened a lot in this game.
Sharon was such a little bitch in this game.
He was pretty helpful though when you used him in battle, like when you had to battle with the other people.
He was, but he was so annoying all the time. Like he had such a stick-up spot the entire game.
Well, that was his character. He was the like uptight one.
Yeah.
Now I'm just scrolling through all the Pokemon. This game really did have some cool ones, like do you remember Levany? That was like the bug grass one that like looked really cool.
Ice cream
like,
cone. Ice cream
all right,
cone.
It's not all perfect, okay?
I mean, that's better than literal. That one's still better than literal trash.
Yeah, because this one had a lot. I didn't realize that this one, Lilligant, which is really cute, little flower Pokemon. We got Fish.
Fish.
And and then my boy Sandile is so cute too. Oh, then he evolves into Croco or something. And then who's also cool. And then Crocodile, which is just badass. Crocodile's such a cool Pokemon. I'm just scrolling through all the Pokemon now.
So we forgot that we kind of got sidetracked a little bit, but going back to the fight with N, we literally get sidetracked by Ganon. Hijacked by Ganon again, because literally after you beat N.
You mean Jehevis? Wasn't his name Gestus?
Gestus, yeah. You defeat N, and then his father Gestus shows up, and he's like, "No, I was secretly a generic villain the entire time." And I'm just like, "Yeah, we saw this coming."
Well, and he's like, I also think too, like degrades N too. He's like, "You worthless. You were supposed to win." He's like such an asshole.
He's such a character, like he's like the most stereotypical thing in this game, because from the moment you first see him, you're like, yeah, this guy's clearly evil.
Yeah.
But yeah,
like, there's not something right about this guy.
Yeah, and he famously has one of the most bullshit Pokemon in the entire game.
Yup.
If you're not prepared for it, like Alex wasn't.
It's just like the thing is like him and N have two very different teams. So the Pokemon you bring with you, like you almost have to like bring your Pokemon to struggle against N, because it will be significantly easier, and then have an easier time fighting against Justice. Because every time I think too, you had to, I think I always had to fight N and then go right into the battle. Like I don't think it started at Justice.
Yeah, it's a 2-tier battle, so it's like you go one to the other.
Like you couldn't not. I think at one point I actually went back and ground. I had to go get a different Pokemon and had to grind to help me out, and then I had to come back and basically have my Pokemon up so high to the point where I could not lose. It was not possible.
I ground my way out of that fight. Like You just kind of have to kind of tank it at times or you have to like perfectly match. But that damn two-headed dragon, fuck that thing.
That damn tuna. It was the Hydrina or something.
Yeah, the false one of the false legendaries of the game.
It was it was dragon type Pokemon. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah.
It's probably in here somewhere. I mean, they really did like make some pretty unique design. Oh, I found the ice cream cone. All right. As soon as I fucking said that, then the stupid ice cream pops up. I'm like, God fucking damn it. I promise there was better designs.
That's like the weakest one in this game.
Like Bambi and Bambi's father.
Yes.
Now I'm just scrolling through. There. Oh yeah, like we had Shroom, the mushroom, the Pokeball mushroom, which I got fooled all the time, going, "Oh, Pokeball on the ground," and then it was just a mushroom guy, and I was like,
they were just doing a new version of the good old Voltorb prank.
Yep, they got me. I like the little electric spider. He was cute. He was cute because there was that cave that had a whole bunch of them.
Oh yeah. No, the Pokemon selection was in this game was really good. So after you beat Gestus, you get the true ending, and it's like for bonus post game content. It's like now you can track down all of the Team Plasma
all of the. It was the what were they called? The sages.
Sages, yeah. I didn't find all of them, but I found a couple of them.
And that's where you worked with Looker. The what's his name? What's the term?
Detective.
Detective, yes.
Investigator, yeah.
I found them all because I was a really big fan of this game.
Did you go back and face the Elite Four again to face Alder properly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
He
I was so OP at the time. I was just like,
well, yeah.
Especially for having to become OP to beat Genesis. Like this game was hard. Like you had to even like some of the gyms were like hard because you would be building your team up and you'd be like, fuck, I don't have anyone that would be good for it. Or like honestly, I love Superior, but if you pick Superior, it's a tough road because like one of your like first gyms you fight is like a bug gym. Well, it's the first one is the elements one, the fire, water, grass one. And of course, if you have a grass Pokemon, you're gonna fight against the fire one because why would they make it easy in the beginning?
It's that first gym where you're like, hey, it's that guy that replaced Brock in the anime.
Yes. And then I think one of the next one at some point there's one where it's a bug gym and you're like, oh, like I have a grass pud type. This isn't gonna go well.
So
but if you get a birdie boy, you'll be fine.
So you had this game also changes some of the gym leaders around depending on the version. Like in black version, the final gym is the dragon gym, and you face this like the male gym leader option for that gym. But I believe in your version, it was Iris.
No, I believe that was black and white too.
No, I think it was black. I think it was black and white because Iris is the champion in black and white too.
Oh, maybe. Oh yeah, you might be right. I forgot about that. Yeah, I don't remember. I thought I faced the guy, but I could be wrong.
I think it was Iris in your version because I remember because I thought she was completely insignificant in my version of the game. And I was just I remember seeing her and being like, "Oh, it's the girl that replaced the girl character in the anime."
Yeah, I don't remember. I think for the most part, that was like the only really change. Other than that, I think most of them were the same. Mine is just whatever Pokemon you pick. That's your story. I'm tired.
One other thing too I found interesting was they really kind of played around with that like watch mechanic where like they would just call you up at random points and you get like little like codex calls with like different characters. And I always remember too because if you play as a Hilda, she just has like this thousand-eyed stare, just staring off into the distance.
Yeah, some of the models were funny. Yeah, you did have a lot of calls, which is how you talked to Juniper a lot and how she kind of stayed involved in the story.
Or your mother would call a lot as well.
She He'd be like, "How you doing?" And you're like, "Mom, leave me alone. I'm on an adventure."
Oh, did you also do the Battle Subway ever?
Are they doing a 3D black and white game?
If they are, it hasn't been announced yet.
Maybe it's a fan made. I
It might
just
be
saw.
fan made.
All right, I'm gonna assume it's fan made. What were you saying? Words.
You ever do the Battle Subway?
I did. I did on occasion.
That's the only place in the game where you will see the player character you didn't pick.
Oh.
Because the battle
Other than that, they're non-existent.
Well, they exist. They're only there.
Not relevant.
Yeah, basically the Battle Subway is it's like a series of like 2-on-2 battles, so you're always paired with the other player character, basically. It's a fun little time waster, but you don't do a whole lot with it.
Oh, one thing I'll say too about this gym, I feel like too was all about all the gyms in this one was one of the last few games where like the gyms were actually a puzzle and you had to actually like solve your way to get to the gym leader. Like I remember prominently the electric gym where it was kind of like a roller coaster and you had to like maneuver around and change the components to like get your way into the gym like via roller coaster elevators, which was pretty cool.
Also, this game was the one this was the first game that decided contests suck. Let's move away from that.
Yeah, like no one likes these. Let's not do them.
Yeah, because they dropped contests for Black and White, and they didn't come back until the remake of Emerald of Gen 3. And I don't think anyone really missed them.
I didn't.
No more.
What is this? What the hell? Is this real? What? Were all the gym leaders crucified at one point in the manga?
Oh, potentially. The manga's fucking dark.
Like, what the fuck? Wait, I'm just gonna send you. I sent you the. Oh, let me send it through Discord, and then you can confirm. I'm assuming this is the manga. Why the manga is crucified? I need to read this manga.
I don't remember this, but this looks like the art style. So yeah, that probably happened. I have to.
This is the 520th chapter.
Yeah, that's probably the manga. So currently, I am reading Pokemon Adventures. I've just gotten to Black and not Black and White. I've gotten to Diamond and Pearl, so I've still got a lot of a ways to go before I get to Black and White again. But yeah, the Pokemon manga is fucking wild.
Sounds like a trip.
Oh, it's wacky, all right.
That's so funny.
Misty, when you first encounter Misty in the manga, she's like getting like attacked by a fucking Gyarados, and she's all bloodied up. It's like, what the fuck?
Like, Gyarados, calm down. I mean,
well,
like,
then you end up getting said Gyarados, and Red gets the Gyarados in his party for a while. It's bizarre.
Okay, Bill, do you remember the zebra, the electric zebra from this game?
Yes.
Okay. Why is he thick? Look at the picture I just sent you.
Why are you looking there?
I was looking at gym battles and it popped up. Why is he thick? Why did they make him thick?
Because he doesn't skip leg day. I mean,
he's double cheeked up.
Why do you got so much ass?
Like, why does he have so much ass?
Oh, good lord. Yeah. Anything else though?
No. Podcast is over. You just cut it there. It's just the music.
Yeah, Black and White though. I loved Black and White back in the day.
I need to replay it again.
It's to me one of the best aged Pokemon games, just because it had such a tight battle system. The game was so.
Play it like not on the DS. Play it on Steam.
No.
No.
Good luck with that.
Or it's not on the Switch or anything.
No, you have to play it on the DS.
Damn it.
Or why you have a DS?
I know, but my copy is like I didn't take care of my DS game, so my copy's kind of dying.
You might just need to clean it a bit.
I've tried.
Um,
Nintendo, damn. Maybe they'll finally put it on Switch eventually. I hope that they put it on Switch and they don't do anything. They just port it over. That's all I want. I don't want them to make any changes. I don't want them to 3D it. It's great as it is. Just port it over so I can play it on my Switch. That's all I want. Nintendo, are you listening? Are you listening to me? Do not touch that masterpiece. Just
oh, you
port
want
it.
Nintendo? Oh, you want something like Shining Diamond and Brilliant Pearl?
No, that was hot garbage. Give me something good.
But Alex, that studio made the One Piece game.
We don't talk about that.
But you like the One Piece game.
I have the cat tongs, Bill. I know where you live.
Well, the
I
Amazon
gave
guy
you
doesn't.
food. I gave you homemade food.
But yeah, so
All right, wait. Give everyone a food review
it was good.
before you leave. No, I need more context. What was good about it?
I'm not doing this.
Was there good? Was it seasoned?
It
Was it cooked
good.
enough? Tell me. I don't cook often. Was it good?
It was good. I ate it both bowls, and I'll return the bowls late when I feed your cat.
What did you like the most about it? Did it taste like the one Dad made?
No, but it was good. That's not a bad thing. It just it wasn't the same, but it was good.
Was it bad?
No, I had
Was
both.
it
No, I'm not doing this.
icky? Turn the music back on. Just turn it on. No! Wait, turn it back on. I want to dance. I like the new music you got. No. Go back to the other one. Go back to the other one. Thanks so much for watching the Gaming and Collecting Podcast. The Gaming and Collecting Podcast is nowhere. It's not available anywhere. How are you listening to this right now? Who are you?
Just
Why
throw
in
him.
my house?
Just throw him for a loop. Play the 3DO outro. Just
What's
be
the
like,
3DO outro? Sounds like hot garbage. What? Burn! What
Yeah.
the fuck was that?
that's a commercial from the. There was literally a commercial for the 3DO that literally had. It was that music playing, and they were throwing a Super Nintendo and a Genesis.
Bill.
What?
Look.
I can't see anything.
It's
I-
Dingle.
Your little banner is blocking her.
God damn, move the banner. Come here.
Doesn't work that way.
Come here. Oh, she came over. She's letting me pet her. She's letting me pet her. She's my baby.
But yeah. So, anyways, guys, once again, thank you for
Wait,
joining
no.
us.
The podcast has already been over. Why are you still recording? We already did the outro.
Thanks for joining us, guys. You can find the Gaming
No.
Collecting Podcast on all the major podcasting
That's the
platforms,
cheater banner. Cheater banner.
Particularly-
Cheater banner. Cheater banner.
particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify. And be sure to check us out over on the Superpod Network. That is superpodnetwork.com. It's an awesome site where you can find all sorts of awesome podcasts. Yes, Alex, that's your cat. Videos, shows. I hope she falls out of her chair. Yeah, flip me off. That's right. But you can also find a whole bunch of great shows there, like Superpod Saga, Super Ghost Radio, Retro Rehab, Tommy's Video Game Ride Along, A Novel Console, Bar Silence, Fine Time, The Elder Trolls Gaming Podcast, Remember 64, Gaming Together, Friday Night Gamecast, Gaming and Collecting, The 3DO Experience, Geek Addicts, The Retro Wildlands, Press B to Cancel, and the Pre-Order Bonus Podcast. And once again, guys,
Unmute
you.
me. Oh, you did as soon as I said it.
Yep, of course. But anyways, guys, once again, thank you for watching. We will see you all later.
You won't see me. Actually, you will. I'm in your walls. Don't be alarmed.